If someone you once loved, someone who was very close to you, passed away, and one day their family suddenly brought you a photograph of them while they were alive, asking you to keep it as a memory, would you accept it politely or would you refuse? Because sometimes a photograph may carry more than just memories. This story happened to me. In 2020, I got married and moved to Shandong. It was the beginning of a brand new chapter in my life. Time passed quickly. Before I even realized it, several years had gone by. But during all that time, I never managed to return to my hometown to visit my family. For some reason, during that period, I began missing home terribly, especially my elderly grandfather. The feeling of worry for him kept growing stronger. At that time, my child had already turned 2 years old enough to travel with me. So last winter, I decided to take my child and finally return home to visit my grandfather. I thought it would just be an ordinary visit, but when I arrived, something immediately caught my attention. There was a new photograph hanging in the living room. It was a picture of my grandfather having dinner with another elderly man, but something about the photo felt wrong. The place looked like a small restaurant. The lighting was extremely dim. Under normal circumstances, no one would take photos in such poor lighting. It almost looked like the picture had been taken secretly when they weren't paying attention. Even stranger, my grandfather and the other man were standing unusually far apart. They didn't look close at all. Grandpa was smiling while holding a glass of wine, but the man across from him had a very serious expression. His eyes were tilted sideways, as if he was staring at something, but no one could tell what he was looking at. Even the way he held his glass looked strange. The entire photo gave off an unsettling feeling. It made me uncomfortable just looking at it. Still, I didn't think much about it at the time. The next day, my aunt came to visit. The moment she stepped into the house, she became angry. She pointed at the photo and scolded my grandfather. She said it was unlucky to hang a dead person's photograph in the living room. She told him to take it down immediately. Only then did I realize she was talking about that exact photo. Grandpa got angry too. He said the man in the photo was his old friend, someone he had known for many years. He didn't understand why it was a problem to hang the photo in his own living room. The atmosphere suddenly became tense, so I quickly stepped in to calm things down. I pulled Aunt Linda into my room so the argument wouldn't get worse, and that's when she told me the story behind the photo. A few years ago, my grandfather's old friend invited my grandparents to visit his city. My grandparents loved traveling, so they happily accepted. The photo was taken during a dinner that this friend hosted for my grandfather. Grandpa looked extremely happy in the picture, but not long ago, that friend passed away. His name was Mr. Harris. One day, Mr. Harris's son traveled a long distance to our house. He personally delivered this photo to my grandfather. Grandpa accepted it. Then he framed it and hung it in the most noticeable place in the living room. Growing up, I had heard Grandpa mention Mr. Harris many times. They were old comrades. They had traveled together many times with their wives. Their friendship was very deep. But strangely, Mr. Harris's children had never been very close to our family. So when his son suddenly brought the photo, everyone felt confused. A few days later, something strange happened. That night, after putting my child to sleep, I went to bed early, and I had a dream. In the dream, I didn't realize I was dreaming. Everything felt like a normal day. I was taking care of my child, doing housework. Then suddenly, someone knocked on the door. Just as I was about to open it, my grandfather stopped me. He shouted toward the door. He said that Mr. Harris had already passed away and should not come here anymore. He said this house did not welcome him. He told him to leave. After repeating this several times, the knocking slowly stopped. Grandpa turned to me and calmly said everything was fine, so I returned to taking care of my child. But in the dream, another day passed, and the next night, the knocking returned. I almost walked to the door again, but suddenly something felt wrong. What if the one knocking wasn't a living person? I stepped back. Grandpa looked at me and immediately understood. He walked to the door again and told Mr. Harris to leave, but this time, the knocking didn't stop. Grandpa kept persuading him to go, but whoever was outside refused. I stood beside Grandpa, extremely nervous, just in case something broke in. Then suddenly, my son started crying in the bedroom. I rushed to check on him, and just before entering the room, I heard Grandpa quietly say something. Grandpa said something shocking. He said it was fine, just this once. He would allow him to come in and sit for a while, but he could only stay briefly. Then he must leave. The moment I heard that, my heart sank. I picked up my child and hurried back to the living room, and what I saw there completely froze me. Standing in front of my grandfather was an old man, and his face was exactly the same as the man in the photograph. I woke up instantly. My clothes were soaked with sweat. I looked at the clock. It was exactly 2 a.m. After that, I couldn't fall asleep again. I sat on the bed until morning. The next day, I told my family everything. Aunt Linda immediately said the photo must have been sent with bad intentions. She believed Mr. Harris's family might have consulted someone about rituals or fortune-telling. Otherwise, why would they send a dead person's photo to someone else's house? She said she had already warned Grandpa when the photo arrived, but Grandpa never believed in those things. He ignored her advice and hung the photo in the living room. And somehow, the strange dream happened to me. Finally, I followed Aunt Linda's suggestion. We burned the photograph. She also burned some paper offerings for Mr. Harris. She kept saying the child was still young and hoped the spirit wouldn't come back to scare us again. I don't know if it was just psychological or if Aunt Linda's ritual really worked, but ever since that day, I never had that dream again. Even now, there's one thing I still can't understand. Why would a family send a photo of their deceased relative to someone else's home? Was it just an innocent gesture? Or was there something hidden behind it? That question has stayed in my mind for years, and I still don't know the answer. Maybe someone out there does.